He wanted me to join his clan, Daniel said again, holding out his hands automatically for Jack to cut the ropes as he gazed over their shoulders at the recently departed Unas. His voice was low, almost monotone, and anyone who didn't know him would be forgiven for underestimating his excitement. As it was, Jack did know Daniel, and he knew that Daniel was in a near-feverish state of exhilaration, euphoria, ecstasy. And he wants us to come back. Do you understand what this means? His speech quickened, words tumbling over one another, and Jack felt the slight tremor as he steadied Daniel's hands with his own, severing the last strand of twine. This could be the beginning of a new friendship, an alliance even. He didn't seem to realize his hands were free. And he said my name. They're obviously capable of learning our language. Come on, Jack said, placing a firm hand on Daniel's back and guiding him towards the exit. Let's get out of here before they change their minds. Carter, take point. Teal'c, bring up the rear. He made the mistake of looking at Carter, saw the way she was watching Daniel, her dismay, and he sighed inwardly at what had to come next. Daniel allowed himself to be steered through the tunnels, Jack's hand a firm grip on his arm. I'll need to return to those cave drawings Chaka showed me, document the pictographs. Bright, blinding light, and he realized they were out of the caves. Ow, he said, shielding his eyes. Yeah, Jack said, donning his shades. Look, Daniel, Rothman's dead. He blinked. What? He's dead. Sorry. He couldn't see Jack's expression. He turned to Sam for confirmation. She was looking at him, distressed, not for Robert, but for him, and he knew it was true. How?
I found her. I get to name her. Cleo.
Gould got him. It seemed like there was something more, something underneath those words, but he couldn't tell, couldn't read what Jack wasn't saying. The one in the water? It was as if someone had sucked away all the air. He caught the look that passed between Jack and Sam, the way Teal'c tilted his staff weapon. Jack took off his sunglasses then, and his eyes were cold. How did you know they were in the water? I saw one. I was trying to escape. Chaka saved me. He waved the question away. How could Robert be dead? Did you go into the water, Daniel? Sam said, and her voice was loud, upset. Yes, I told you, he said impatiently. I was trying to escape. Those looks again, their subtle moving away from him, and then he realized what they were thinking, and he laughed at the stupidity of it, that he even had to say it. I'm not a Gould. Jack didn't say anything, just stood there, watching him, waiting. Loader, Hawkins. Did the rest of SG-11 die too? Jack's stare was unwavering. Some of them. Colonel, Sam said. He suddenly felt very tired. He'd spent the last couple of days trying to convince Chaka to let him live, and now he was all used up. He sat down heavily. Daniel? He recognized Jack's tone. It was the one that said, You're acting crazy, but I'm trying my best to stay patient with you, so don't push me. What? There's nothing I can do to convince you I'm not a Gould, so... He wasn't sure where he was going with that sentence, but he guessed the fact he was sitting in a pile of leaves spoke for itself. No one said anything for a while. There was probably an unspoken conversation going on above his head, significant looks, gestures, and he just sat there, rubbed at a dark stain on his pants. It came up red on his fingers. Not dirt, then. People always thought of archaeology as dry, arid, dusty, but in reality, it was wet and drenched in blood. In a fit of irritation, he said, Look, if I was a Gould, then why would I let an Unas tie me up and drag me halfway across the planet? Because... Jack trailed off. He's got a point, sir. I do not believe that Daniel Jackson is a Goa'uld. He glared mutinously at their legs. I'm hungry, he said flatly.
I love ordering those military types around.
Someone was unwrapping an energy bar, thrust it into his hands. He ate it quickly, and another one materialized, then a canteen of water. He got to his feet, frowning, head down, ignoring the concern they were all radiating at him. Which way's the Stargate? He was vaguely aware of Jack beside him as they followed the others, and as they walked, he kept thinking of Robert, how they knelt side by side in the dust. Robert's dead. Robert's dead. And he didn't realize he was crying until Jack was standing in front of him, swiping at his face with the cuff of his sleeve. Archaeology. Drenched in tears and blood,